Richarius bows his head without too much reverence. Lean toward Henrik's. Interesting conversation. It's been very illuminating, giving me plenty of food for thought. For an inscrutable man, Henrik is being even more inscrutable than usual. It's as if he's hiding something important. Is there anything you would like to tell me? Nothing urgent, Svinto. Henrik casts an impassive look at you and immediately glazes away. What can you tell me about my guests? Well, Richarius Sarbak is all but throwing darts at your portrait. He is more astute at choosing women than enemies. He's trying to entice Gaprak to his side, but she is too frightened after the fiasco at Kiavagama. Even in leisure, you never cease to be of help. I appreciate it. That is why they call it the unsleeping eye of the Inquisition. Even in sleep I hear everything. Svinto, before this gala concludes, there is something I'd like to tell you. Be careful today. I sense that the wave of darkness will soon hit our defense lines, and I hope that I will still get a chance to meet you there as an ally. Leave silently. Jay. She had nothing. Argenta. May the Emperor be with you. We didn't find the Omnisaya guy. He's probably busy on the ship or something. I hope your lordship is pleased and not yet tired. If you wish to revive yourself a little, I would suggest proceeding to the courtyard, if I may be so bold. Many guests have chosen to move into the fresh air and will be eager to offer you their congratulations. What do you think of the reception? It is magnificent. I dare say it will live on as the premier high society event of the sector for many years. I am weary and wish to retire to my chambers. Your chambers are ready, but I must inform you that the servitor over there, the master of ceremony, points to a servitor standing in the corner, dressed in your ship's livery, approached me and said that it has a message for you. Its speech was surprisingly fluent and expressive for a servitor, so I think someone must have put this message onto it. The master of ceremonies dropped his voice for a whisper. It could be a secret dispatch. The last thing I wish to do now is speak to a servitor. Please allow me to escort you, your lordship.
Your chambers are ready, your lordship. Guards! Intruder!
Quiet. Time to sleep.
We need to talk in private. We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
Okay. The same man you saw among your guests is waiting for you in your chambers with the look of someone who is supposed to be there. He casts a cold, assessing gaze over you from top to bottom, No one save Theodora has ever allowed themselves the liberty of looking at you in such a way. We have matters to discuss. Swinto von Valancius. The woman behind Calcasar, clad in black armor, glares at you, and her face set in predatory readiness for immediate violence. The hall of a professional bodyguard. Will my servant live?
Probably. Unless he suffered from hidden ailments, he will soon come to without any major damage to his health. Either way, oblivion is a far safer option for him than the dangerous privilege of being a witness to this conversation.
The woman at Calcasar's back gives you a bloodthirsty smirk. Henriks, I thought we were friends. But friends don't break into each other's chamber in the middle of the night with weapons, do they?
We used other means of travel to pay you this visit. I assure you, rogue trader, that all your locks are in order.
If the Inquisition wishes to have a talk with me, I am glad to be at its service.
A commendable openness to cooperation. It will be taken into account. Master Van Kellox has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words. What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Janus, the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you. Then that is what we will discuss.
After saying these words, he shoots you a searching look from under his brow, like a regicide player who just made the first move and is now watching for his opponent's reaction. This feels an awful lot like an interrogation.
Does it? We're in your chambers, not a confessional cell. You're in perfectly good health, and none of the varied and fascinating instruments and procedures that expedite candor are being applied to you. I assure you, you would immediately know if our discussion turned into an interrogation.
What do you wish to know about events on Janus?
What was the reasoning behind your decision to let Xenos, enemies of humanity, live and act on a planet that belongs to you?
Let's see here. An alliance with Xenos? What nonsensical gossip. I didn't do that. In the face of heresy, the Xenos seemed like an acceptable allies to me. There have been precedents for this, correct? In the face of heresy, I'll take that as an argument.
Your way of thinking is curious. Dangerous, but curious nonetheless. I would suggest exercising utmost caution should you wish to continue on this path.
How did you come to be so remarkably well informed?
Are you surprised? You thought the Inquisition was unaware of the circumstances of your deeds. How often do you find yourself thinking that there are things we shouldn't know about your life? It is my job to know everything, and I do it very well. Keep that in mind.
If you knew about what was happening on Janus, why didn't you intervene yourself?
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this. We had the situation under control. There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Coronis expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision and caution, without any room for error. Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
What questions could you have for me about Kiavagama?
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiavagama should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, it was House von Valancius that gave Cubis Delphim so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy. What was your rationale?
My protectorate is a complex mechanism. I wasn't willing to put its performance at risk because of some paranoid fears. We either do that, or we blame it on the Adeptus Mechanicus. Let the priesthood, which is Cubis Delphim, belonged answer for his crimes. The Adeptus Mechanicus would do well to watch their members more closely.
Clever. Alas, everyone guilty of negligence within the ranks of the priesthood of Mars has already been identified and punished. Right now, I'm assessing the actions of your dynasty.
Okay. Continue.
I hope you realize that we're talking about more than the fate of some colony. I care not for a single planet, however profitable and populous. But should corruption raise its head again on Kiavagama and try to spread, I will burn it away. And you will be guilty of criminal negligence.
Okay, so I will be responsible. The Drukhari have shown an interest in me. Are you referring to my ruined capital?
Yes. The enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Veabos 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seems strange to begin with, and lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack, but even this time, their daggers missed your heart. Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos, to have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive. So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts, meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent?
Let's see here. Lore of the Imperium. Xenos made more attempts on Saint Duru's life than mine. Does that make him a traitor too?
So you already think you're cut from the same cloth as St. Drusus, do you? Ambitious? I'll make note of it.
I have answered all of your questions.
Far from it, my dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora, who was so much more experienced and skilled than you? Is it a coincidence that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Rykad Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voitvir about you? Was it virtuous of you to allow the warp-stricken Voidsmen to join your crew? The ones who served on the ship that was turned into a trap for you by Kunrad Voitvir? Isn't it possible that they were part of the blight he had sown? The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character, but it won't in this case. The Inquisition, which I represent, is willing to show extraordinary faith in your person. For the sake of our invaluable partnership, I'm going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself or may again in the future. I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
Is Henrik staying in my retinue, or are you taking him back?
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrichs, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the von Valancius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
I want Henriks to continue to accompany me.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will remain in place. It puts me at ease to know that there is someone to watch over you.
I consider it an honor to accompany you.
Why such interest in my person?
You haven't been in a position of power for long, and so one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Coronis Expanse. Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless? The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades, and there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of space wolves, blessed space marines summoned in my name, did not cool their interest in the Expanse.
We have space wolves. Cool.
A mighty explorator fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of centuries ago. House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed. And this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed incendiar. Caligos Winterskill has abruptly lost all interest in his domain, and his only apparent concern now is hunting ever more dangerous xeno-beasts. And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own Master of Whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
What kind of a deal are we talking about?
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give you orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that, when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them.
Okay, so You don't order me around, but you order me around. I need to use the restroom. All right.
Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor. In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid.
Okay, so that's at least a boon.
The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. Scarlet means that you have shed your blood for the good of the Imperium, and therefore, you deserve to have his servants shed their blood for you.
Behalf of my house, I, Svinto von Valancius, hereby promise and guarantee to offer the Inquisition any assistance it may require. The Emperor protects.
I am glad to hear it. Your oath has been heard and added to the record. Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
Well, you will obviously want to discuss what just happened. But not now, I presume. Right now, it would be better for you to rest and think on the Lord Inquisitor's words in private. I bid you good night, rogue trader.
The rise of the rogue trader heir restored a tenuous equilibrium to the Von Valancius Protectorate. For a time, threats subsided, activity returned to trade routes, and reclaimed worlds began to heal. The new Lord Captain's subjects praised the God Emperor and their leader wholeheartedly. For none knew what fate might await them.
Okay, what the hell is this? Eldar in distress. You have spent the first few hours of your morning listening to the High Factotum's lengthy report on the latest trade exchanges, arrangements, disputes, and countless bureaucratic procedures. From outside the illuminated, tightly closed windows, you can hear the muffled sound of Dragonus and its everyday life, the life that has been passing you by lately, as you have been preoccupied with the affairs of your protectorate from dawn to dusk. Clementia barely contains a John. Once Janrock has finished, she pulls out her data slate. Thank you for your report, High Factotum. Your work is highly appreciated both by everyone here and Adeptus Administratum. Your Lordship, we are almost done here. We just need to go over the final item of today's agenda that I would like to report to you personally. Truly the God Emperor has blessed me with diligent subjects. Speak. Allow me to pass on gifts from your loyal subjects, the high nobility of Dragones. It goes without saying that every living soul in your protectorate is blessed to serve your lordship faithfully and wholeheartedly. However, this humble gesture is meant as a token of deepest appreciations of your magnanimity toward the esteemed families. In the past cycle, House Drivestem tripled the tithes collected from the house's subject. Your coffers are overflowing, and the governor has expressed hope that his modest gift will become a symbol of your present and future success in your new status. House Sourback has arranged several regiments of expertly trained servants of the Emperor to be transferred to your personal command. Each of them will also serve as an honor guard for the holy relics that are to find their rightful place in the hold of your personal void ship. A bunch of holy gifts. Is something wrong? No, not at all, your lordship. The people and the cargo have indeed reached the port services, so there is no reason to doubt the sincerity of the house's intentions. It's just such substantial and valuable gifts coming from Lord Sourback. If I am to venture a guess, your lordship, I believe the esteemed Chancellor was staggered by such an irregular display of generosity from a man who is rather known for voicing his doubts in rogue traders as a class. It would seem you have made quite an impression on Macarius, the old miser. Lord Captain, news of particular import has come from the House Intelligence Network. Lord Inquisition Kalsahar is rumored to be planning a visit to Footfall. A number of Imperial Navy ships were commandeered by Lord Kalkasar, and they are also being scrambled to Footfall furthermore. We have received reports claiming that secret messages were delivered to the capital worlds of House Shorda and Winterscale. It is possible that the Lord Inquisitor can't call to arms may smother the conflict that is brewing between the two dynasties. We are seeing an increased number of skirmishes between their ships in neutral systems. I do not doubt that Her Ladyship Shorda will accept to sway to the Lord Inquisitors to her side. Okay, so the two other rogue traders are in a proxy war. So they are not at war, but they are fighting each other in neutral space. Especially since His Lordship Winterscale's luck seems to be running out. Riots has been broken out on several of his worlds, and yet he has shown no intention of quelling them. Instead, the rogue trader inflicted brutal punishments upon one of his oldest colonies, Vesuvia Secundus, based on allegations of sentiment. Oddly enough, our agents were unable to find any proof of sedition among the populace there. As soon as we have any updates, you will be the first to know, your lordship. Lastly, your pet Xenos, Ireliet, I believe, is seeking a meeting with you. She had an audience to defile the rogue trader's palace with her profane presence and refused to leave until she has spoken with you. I would never presume to be able to read the emotions of Xenos, but the Eldari appeared perturbed. I believe her mentioned a void ship of some sort. It may be best if she told you everything directly. And with that, please allow me and Master Danrock to take our leave. Perhaps the last request will serve as a welcome distraction. Indeed, your lordship's stay on Dragones has been rather long. However, your protectorate is now enjoying a period of relative stability that, for a time being, no longer demands your lordship personal involvement in its affairs. Glory to the rogue trader.